So here's our first example of, perhaps an effective scope of work. Please dig a hole. Now this is from Canada, so perhaps, I'm just kidding, right? So please, the reason why this is such a challenge here is that we don't know what that means, right? I mean, this could mean something like that, or it could mean, something like this. And this is actually what the utility group put together. They said our scope of work is something like this, right? Some other examples. So this is a waste hauling. This is for a university. So they have 5,000 tons of waste collection across the campus. And here's what they said, is the owner's expectation that the collection vehicles, the trucks, designated for service should be at a minimum less than 2 years old at the start of the contract. Okay, right off the bat here, what do you think? Are there any issues with this? Okay, why does the owner issue this requirement? What's the intent behind this?
Reliable equipment.
Okay, reliable equipment, that's why they want brand new equipment. Okay. Okay, what else? What might be the issue be with this? Less than 2 years old. Yeah, exactly, right? 2 years and reliable equipment doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, right? How about the cost to buy like a brand new fleet of vehicles? Is this like a cheap thing to do? No. I mean, what's happening to your price if you have something like this? Your price is going to go way up, right? The second thing they had here is in order to support accurate measurements toward the owner's sustainability goals, all vehicles must be solely dedicated to the owner and cannot be used for other sites. I mean, what's going on here? So first off, we have to have brand new trucks, and secondly, you can't use it anywhere else. Now, the reason why they said this is because they want to track how much waste haulage is using, and that's why they said we can't use it for anybody else so that we can track everything that's going on, right? That's the intent. But in reality, what does this do to the vendor? It ties their hands. If we're actually trying to hire experts who know what they're doing, we don't need to state all these requirements. Now, I can say, here's the things we would like, but how you do it is different from what the requirements are. So we had to have a fundamental paradigm shift as to what we're looking at here. Here's another one. This is elevator maintenance scope of work. So the proponent shall assign a dedicated maintenance technician to this contract, and they'll be solely assigned to this contract and perform all maintenance. So it's kind of the same thing here, right? Now, again, the reason why we have this person on site is that, well, if there's an issue, we don't want to, have someone stuck. You ever been stuck in the elevator before? Yeah? It's not exactly a funny, I've been stuck before, and it's not exactly a fun experience, right? So that's why they did this. But again, is that if we're trying to hire experts and people that know what they're doing, we necessarily don't need to specify this level of detail for what this looks like. Okay, here's another one. This is a power plant, minimum qualifications. So these are actual requirements they put into the RFP. They have to have 10 years experience, 10 projects in procurement, design build, both owners and contractors, 5 design build projects in the United States, or in a specific state, 1 design build project working on behalf of public owner, 1 design build project that was not new construction but refurbishment, remodel, blah, blah, blah. I mean, what's the issue with all, who's seen these minimum requirements before? We all have these minimums. Minimums do not drive performance. Minimums encourage the industry to dive to the minimum, because if they provide something that's above the minimum, what happens to their profit? It suffers. So if someone has, like 9.5 years of experience, versus all 9.5 years of really good experience, versus someone that has 15 years of terrible projects, which one's better? Right? So minimums in terms of number of years of experience and things like this do not correlate to high performance, right? So hopefully we're starting to unpack this a little bit about what this does here. So when we have an ineffective scope of work, it ties the hands of the vendors. And again, our intent here is to hire people who know what they're doing. And if we're doing that, then we have to actually let them be successful in what they're doing. It can cost, removes flexibility, and again, limits accountability. So again, here's the different issues that as you have these different things come up, in terms of the quality of scope goes down, all these other issues start happening.